If you ever listen to some of his raps, I'm like, oh my God.
Tut Tarantino's father, his biggest opposition right now, came out and completely exposed him for the false rapping, if you will. I know we're usually talking about false preaching and false prophesying, but this is definitely a message that I am going to spread and going to share, because this is what I would consider my community. So let's get into this. I want to show you guys what his father had to say about his rapping career, about not only that, but the things that he does rap about. Let's hear it. I mean, this is very interesting just to hear this. I mean, you've never seen this happen before. Let's get into this.
I got a son. He raps. His rap name is Tut Tarantino. If you ever listen to some of his raps, I'm like, oh my God, where does this come from, son? You grew up in a gated community your whole life, but he's rapping my life.
You grew up in a gated community your whole life. You can just see the like confusion in my man's face. It's hurting him to see his child do this, use his platform for this. And I'm going to show you guys, when you go to the song, like, let's just go to one song. You just listen to one. I can't play it for you here because I don't want to get striked, but I can tell you what it says. But when you listen to the song, I mean, this is just, it's so interesting to me why people desire this. But when you check out the song, when you look at the music video, he talks about he was on the block. I was out on the block, strapped up with that tool. That's I gotta remember this, guys. I don't really listen to this music. You guys gotta bear with me. The language doesn't even sit with me. It's hard for me to understand some of this. But he was saying I was out on the block, strapped up with that tool. But let's just use the words for what the words are, and let's take them for what they are. I was out on the block. That's a past tense sentence, meaning that before now, he came from a place where he was out on the block, strapped up with the tool, and we know what tool he's talking about. But when you go back to his own father, someone who raised this young man, he's saying he grew up in a gated community his whole life, as he expressed, so confused. Like, why? This is my question. If anyone can help me understand this, why is it that in the black community, because I understand that in most rappers' lifestyles, they do really come from that place. The projects, they do come from the trap houses. They do come from those places. But this is a gentleman who didn't come from this place, but yet he desired to go to that place. I guess it's because of credibility. He's looking for credit. I need to be credible because these people won't accept me for who I am if I don't have the same upbringing as them. But what I don't understand is that most rappers that do have that story, they usually are using their platform to try to get out of the place that they were once in. Like, they grew up in that area, so it's like, I had to get my mama out the hood, I had to get my family out because they want to get a better life for him. But this guy already had that. This guy grew up in a way as a young black child. He doesn't even know, and that's the sad part. Most young black children don't get the experience to grow up in a gated community their whole life. For young black kids, if I could just keep it honest and real, the only gated communities that we may know of or come up to know about is the gate in front of the apartment complex that 9 times out of 10 is broken and wide open anyways, or the gates that are surrounding our young black children in prison and juvenile halls way too early. Because even when you had a silver spoon, even when your parents have done what they needed to do to create great names and great success for themselves, to be able to provide financially and provide a good life for you, you want to lie, if you will, and say that you come from a place that you didn't come from. Imagine with the factual statement that I just said about how most young black kids never experience what it's like to live and grow up in a gated community. Most black kids don't have that experience. You have to understand that. Most black kids don't even grow up in homes. It's apartment style living for some of them. So when you grow up in that realm, why not use that avenue as a way to send a good message? You can still rap, but talk to us about how it was like. What was your experience like? Probably being maybe 1 to maybe 3 households in your community growing up as a child. What was it like? I'm probably pretty sure. I can't say, for sure by fact, but I'm making a guesstimation here. I'm pretty sure majority of his surroundings growing up were not black people. Not saying that his parents wanted him to stay away from that, but like I'm saying, bro, he grew up in a gated community his whole life. And the fact that he is not mentioning that, and the fact that he almost built his platform off of not sharing or discussing anything really about that, trying to lie and act like that was never a thing, that furthermore proves that he himself understands, bro, that most people didn't have this great of an upbringing that you had. So why would you do that? Why would you take this path? What is so intriguing? What is so alluring? What is the benefit? Can someone tell me what the benefit of this lifestyle is? I've never understood what was the benefit. I know people make a lot of money in this industry, and it may be fame, but besides those two things, is there something else? Because you're trying to go after. I'm lost for words, guys. Somebody please help me out, because you're trying to go after a life that you were born into. You try to make it seem like you need all this credibility, trying to make it seem like you came from some place that you just didn't come from. Tut Tarantino, man. Most people would pray to have been brought up the way that your father is saying you were brought up. Most people, just the lifestyles of children, you just never know. Sometimes we get so caught up in our own selves. Sometimes we get so caught up in our own, issues and our own problems and the own things we have going on in our own lives, that we forget to realize that when it really is, like people say, like someone's always worse off than you. Yeah, there's people that are worse off. But Tut Tarantino, you were better off than a lot of people growing up, especially as a young black man growing up. It's like when you have black parents that have done what they needed to do, man, to provide young black men the life that they need. It's heartbreaking to see them use the knowledge that I'm sure his father has attempted to instill in him years after years, the guidance, all of that. It's heartbreaking to see them use that, and this is the outcome. This is what they want to show their parents, as far as, hey, thank you for the gated community. Thank you for the food on the table. Thank you for the safety net that I've had growing up as a child. But man, ignorance is bliss, man. Sometimes we could be too ignorant to understand that people really are worse off, and there's no reason to try, and it can almost be offensive to people that really had to be on the block, strapped up with a tool because they really had to fear for their lives. But you didn't have to fear for your lives. So there's a lot of ways to look at this. It's disheartening, but it could also be offensive to the wrong person, who definitely had to live this lifestyle, not by choice, and definitely by chance. And you're kind of making it seem like it's a choice to live, but people don't live this choice, man. I'm telling you, guaranteed. I don't care how strong of a person they may be, or you know, how bad of a person other people may see them as. I truly believe that at the end of the day, every human being would love to be able to close their eyes and go to sleep at night in safety and in peace, not wondering or worrying if they're going to be robbed or someone's going to break into their home or if they just might end it all tonight. You know, I definitely believe that everyone wants that. Like I said, this guy had it, and it's just sad. It's just sad. Let me know what you guys think. I definitely appreciate you guys if you stayed this long. Till the next one, guys. I'm out.